Alright, coming back at you with a quick little video here. I'm tired of typing up the explanation for my game. I guess it's a subsystem technically, but so yeah, I wanted to just quickly give a rundown and an intro to see what you'd expect if you were to play this game, or subsystem, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, let me make my face a little bit smaller here. There we go. That's a little me in the corner. And let us zoom in on this slightly so people can actually see. What, 200? Yeah, sure, 200. Whatever. Let's go, 150. Alright, so this is called Icons of the Arena. I really enjoy arena games in like D&D and Pathfinder. I also really enjoy Blades in the Dark. So this is a combination of those two things, effectively. So yeah, you'll also hear my furnace in the background. I had to repair it this morning, so I'm proudly showing it off, even though you can't see it. Anyway, ignore it. So, it's fancy. It's got lots of stuff. Essentially, you, as a player, will be taking on the role of a character, as you normally do. You will be a part of a company, or college. I'm not sure what I want to call it yet, but we're going to call it a company. And that is kind of a collective group character sheet, kind of how the crew functions in Blades in the Dark. So, within that company, you'll get a benefit, and that's kind of like your theme that you run with for that when you play. And then you are going to select bouts or fights to take on. You won't know who you're fighting against. You'll just know, like, the difficulty, and then it's up to your team to spend time gathering information about them if you can, or you just go in blind and you make it up as you go. That's kind of how the gameplay functions. Once you're actually in the fight, I designed a crowd function, and they'll kind of act on an initiative count of like 0, so like right at the end of when the initiative turns over. And essentially what happens is that as things go through, the crowd will change as the game goes. So here it is. I'm quite happy with it. I need to fine tune the mechanics exactly, but essentially, I should stop saying essentially so much. When you gain their favor, as a player, your characters will gain benefits because you have their favor, they're cheering you on, you feel emboldened and more powerful. So as the slider goes up each round, or twice if you roll a crit, then you'll feel the crowd more. If things are going badly and you're rolling crit fails, or the enemy is critting on you, then it'll go down and you'll feel demoralized and beat down by the crowd heckling you and battering you and things like that. So that is how that functions. Here's an example. So essentially, I kind of broken it down, kind of how Blades in the Dark does it with questions. And so essentially, each time that I keep saying essentially, did any combatants, these are the questions that are asked. Did they perform an act of heroism, boldness, or brutality? Did someone fumble or get knocked down or get defeated? Or did anyone actively try to influence the crowd? So what's nice about Pathfinder 2nd Edition is that you can spend a whole action if you want, doing a performance or finding some way in the combat to make yourself look better. So performance will hopefully be a useful skill to take as things go. If you as the GM are able to answer yes to any of these former questions, then it will shift by 1. So you can't stack all of them on top of each other. Like, each player couldn't do one thing. It's just one step. But like, if everyone does it, or I'm not quite sure. Again, this is all in the playtest phase. It's still being built. I'm really excited to run it though. So I just want to showcase a little bit of the stuff. So the bouts will be, for the most part, randomly generated. I think for the playtest, I'll have some like special ones, or I'll pre-make some for each difficulty level. The other cool thing is that when you're in the arena, I'll randomly determine what it's going to be by rolling a d12, and that will change the map. So it's not just going to be flat sand every single time. It'll be maybe like volcanic, and there's like bouts of flame coming out of the ground and rotating each round. Like, the arena is also going to function kind of as a character in itself too, so that it's not the same every time. And I think that'll be a lot of fun, especially with like double necrotic damage, or like, half cold damage if you're in the plane of fire, things like that. I'm excited for that as well. As for and then after the fight, then there's downtime. So in downtime, each player can partake in a couple. I'm not quite sure how many exactly, but they'll be able to do a few things to, boost XP for the next fight they have, or go shopping for stuff, or pursue a long-time project. How Blades in the Dark handles it as well with their downtime actions as well. Now let me find... I should have had this open beforehand. Where is it? So as for the company, jumping back a bit, you'll have your character, and then you'll go to the company. And so the company is kind of an archetype of a theme. And then as you go, the company will level up, and you'll be able to pick more abilities as well. So each of these represents one victory. So after 4 victories in fights, you'll be able to pick a new special ability. You start with one at the beginning that the team can pick together, as well as picking the company. So there's troubadours, which are kind of like, or troubadours, however you say it. They're like the bards, kind of more flamboyant. The squad is like very disciplined fighter type. I kind of tried to pick like a general one that everyone can still fit into, and it's kind of like your group's theme. There's the Coven, which is very magic focused, very chaotic in that way. The Order is more so like religious, like maybe you're all part of some religious faction perhaps. The Scoundrels are, your more roguey criminal element. And then the Circle is very nature, kind of primal focused. And again, these abilities are very in early stages. I tried to keep some that are like, they'll give you skills, or they'll give you kind of a downtime effect. I think I put the kind of, I put the format here somewhere, right here. So each company kind of has like, okay, improve some skills, improve a skill, not 3, because I had this for 5e before. Improve a skill, ribbon, or utility ability, downtime, faster advancement, initiative buff, reduced or improved crowd influence, or group benefit. So that's kind of where these come from in terms of their design standpoint. So you might have downtime. This one you can wild shape as if it was 1 level higher. That needs to be changed to heightened. You can cast 1 spell at a heightened level of 1. Cool. Just finding things as I go. So again, this is all work in progress. Yeah, that's kind of the game. So you jump in, make a character, make a company together, then you gather information about your fight, have a fight, get paid, get reputation, downtime, and then you go from there. And so that is Icons of the Arena. I'm hoping it can be tacked on as like a subsystem within another combat game, as a sort of like, hey, let's all go to the arena. Okay, here's something you can throw in and really make it a whole thing. So I'm hoping that this is what it will do, and I hope the themes get across. So that's my rundown. Hopefully not too long. Hopefully brief enough. I don't want to type anymore about it. Have a great day.